our lesson for today.
Yeah.
So last time we talked about how Elijah went up to the top of Mount Carmel with his servant, and then he prayed and he prayed and he listened to God, and how he sent his servant out 6 times to look over the sea, and he saw nothing. And then the 7th time the servant came back and said, I can see a cloud, I can see a cloud. And how the clouds kept on gathering and gathering and gathering, and they became dark and heavy, and then rain poured down. So now there was a rain in Israel, and
After a long time of drought,
there was a rain in Israel, and Elijah was now triumphant and happy because God had brought rain back to Israel, and he had shown his people that he is the one true God.
Yes.
So now let's see what happens next to Elijah.
So now King Ahab gets home, and he can't wait to tell his wife everything that happened at Mount Carmel. So he gets to his palace, goes straight to his wife and tells her everything that happened, and how Elijah called fire from heaven. And after that, Elijah killed all the prophets of Baal. And the queen Jezebel was very, very angry.
She was
and upset
angry because these were her prophets. She had, remember, Jezebel is the one who came with all of these many prophets of Baal, and she's the one who brought Baal worship into Israel. And now all of her prophets have been killed. So she was
by one man, Elijah.
And she was upset and she was furious, and she stomped around the palace, and then she sent for a messenger to send a message to Elijah. And this messenger came, and he was so scared. He was terrified. He was terrified.
He was very angry.
Yes, but still, the queen gave the message, and she said, tell that man that by this time tomorrow I will have done to him what he has done to my prophets, and may the gods strike me dead if I do not keep my promise.
Yes.
And so then Elijah was given this message.
The message goes to Elijah, and when Elijah had that message, his heart sank, he became sad, he became very afraid and very scared,
and he became so worried, and he
started
thinking, just yesterday he had bravely shown all of the people that God is the one true God. And then now today, how is he going to convince the people to go back to worshiping God if Jezebel was still queen? If Jezebel is still ruling the people, then how can he turn the people back to God? So now he was very sad and very upset.
Yes, and immediately, because he was afraid that Jezebel was going to kill him, he decided to run away from where Jezebel was. So he went south
all the way towards Judah. And he went on this very long journey.
It was a very long journey in the desert, and
he was traveling through the desert. He was hot and it was exhausting, and he was so tired, and he was so exhausted that he finally got to a tree, and he sat under the tree, and he fell asleep because of how tired he was.
Yes, at least he found shade under the tree, so that's why he sat. And because he was very tired and it was very hot, he fell asleep. And then in his sleep, he had someone touch his shoulder. And then he felt a touch on his shoulder, and then he heard a voice telling him, wake up and eat
something. So he opened his eyes, and right next to him he saw a loaf of bread, and he saw a jar of water. But he was so tired that he just fell back asleep. And then he heard of the voice say, get up and eat something.
Or get up and journey will be too much for you.
Yes, you have to wake up and you have to eat. So then Elijah opened his eyes, and he ate the bread, and he drank the water and the food that God had provided for him. And it was so wondrous that this food had been provided for him. So then now Elijah understood that God did still care about him. So because before he had been so sad and had been so upset that he even said, what is the use?
I wish I can just die.
He said, what is the use if after all of the good I have done that nothing has happened, I should just die. But now he knew that God cared about him because God had provided for him.
Wonderfully provided for him.
Yes. So even as Elijah went on his journey, and he continued with his journey, God continued to provide for him water and provide for him food. So he went on with his journey until he got to Mount Sinai. Now remember, Mount Sinai is where God made a covenant with Moses and the people of Israel. So it reminded Elijah of all that God had done for Israel.
Yes. So from these children, we learn that God really does care for us. That the same God that is with us when we are happy, when we've achieved a lot, is the same God that is with us when we feel scared and
sad and alone.
Just like God was with Elijah when he gave him strength to even outrun the chariots of Ahab, The same way God provided for Elijah food and water in a wonderful and miraculous way.
Yes.
When he did not see any hope, when he was afraid and when he was sad, God still cared for Elijah, and he made sure that Elijah knew that God cared for him. So even as we should know that God still cares for us when we are happy or when we are sad,
and that each time He'll provide for us when we're very
when we're
excited,
brave or when you're scared, God still does care for us, and He will always provide for us whatever we need in our lives.
Yes. So now it's time for us to sing our song. So everyone stand up now and help us sing this song.
Yes.
Okay, kids, we've just talked about how Elijah went and he had to run away and hide because Jezebel had said that he was going to kill him, that she was going to kill him the same way that he had killed the prophets of Baal. Now, Elijah was sad and he was scared and he felt very alone, and he said, after all the good I've done, God, it is better for me to die, because he didn't know how he was going to turn the people of God back to God. Well, Jezebel was still ruling, but then God provided for him provided for him food and water, and it showed that God still cared about him. So now we're gonna sing a song about how God is good, even when you're going through over the mountains, below, in darkest days, God is still with us all the time. So friends, stand up and help us sing this song. Over mountains high, through the valleys low, God is good. Wherever we go, from the darkest days to the darkest night, God is good all the time. Oh, 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 God is good. Oh, 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 over mountains high, through the valleys low, God is good. Wherever we go, from the brightest days to the darkest nights, God is good all the time. Oh, 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 God is good. Oh, oh, oh. Through the trials we face, He will show the way. We will stand and say that God is good. Through the trials we face, He will show the way. We will stand and say that God is good. Oh, 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 God is good. Oh, 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 over mountains high, through the valleys low, God is good. Wherever we go, from the brightest days to the darkest nights, God is good all the time. Oh, 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 God is good. Oh, 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 God is good. Yay! Okay, kids, it's time for us to do our craft. Now, we've just talked about how Elijah had to run away because even after he'd proven to the people that God is the one true God, Queen Jezebel was still queen. And while she was ruling, Elijah didn't know of a way to turn the people back to God. And remember, we said Elijah was sad and he felt alone and he was afraid, and he said, even after all of the good that I have done, what does it mean I should just die? But then God provided for him bread and water, and this showed Elijah that God still cared for him.
Yes.
Even now that he's sad and he's upset and he's scared, God still cares for him. So in order to remember this story, we're going to create a picture of Elijah sleeping under a tree while God provides for him a jar of water and a loaf of bread.
Yes, because remember in our lesson we said that he was walking in the desert and then he was tired and it was very hot, and he came to a place where he found a tree and there was shade and he decided to sleep, and then he had someone tapping. wake up so that you can eat. And when he opened his eyes, there was bread and there was water right there. So that is what you're going to do. And for this, what we've just done, we drew a tree and then we cut it out. So that's what you're supposed to do. Just draw a tree, then cut it out, and then going to color. And then on the other manila paper, what I did is I drew Elijah sleeping. I just drew a man sleeping, and then there's a jar of water and a piece of bread right beside him. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a lot of coloring today. So take up your colors. I'll start with my tree. So you can color your trunk. So today we're doing a lot of coloring. So get your colors. So I'm done with my trunk, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my green color and just color the tree. Okay, so after we're done with the tree, I'm going to put it aside and then take my picture where I have drawn Elijah sleeping, and I'll just color him out so that you can see that he's asleep. So after you're done coloring, it's now time to put the two pictures together so that we can make sense out of it. So what I'll do is I'll take my tree, and then I'm going to put my tree right where Elijah is sleeping so that it looks like he's under the tree sleeping. So I'll staple it right there. So when you look at my picture now, it makes sense that Elijah is sleeping right under the tree. Okay, so now we need to know what we've done. So we have to write what is happening and how God provided for Elijah and where we can find this story so that you can be able to read. So I'll write on top of my picture, I'm going to write, God provides for Elijah. Okay, God provides for Elijah because he provided water and bread for him to eat, because God knew that he was very hungry and very tired and he had a long journey ahead of him. And then where we can find this story, so it's in 1 Kings chapter 19. So that is where you can find the whole story of when Elijah ran away because of Jezebel and how he got tired and he slept, and then God woke him up to eat because he needed to eat. Okay, so as you can see, there's our craft. Elijah is sleeping right under the tree. Okay, so I'm sure yours should be better. Okay, I hope yours should be better than this. So I hope you're able to make yours better than this. Just draw Elijah sleeping, put bread and water beside him, and then draw a tree and put them together so that you can see. Okay. Okay, so that is our craft for today, and that is our lesson for today. So until next time, bye.